sense to the average Joe. No small task. Did President Obama's Wall Street speech this morning convey a strong message to the people outside the financial world? Joining us now to analyze the president's speech on Wall Street from a perspective of a communications coach is Kevin Daly. He's the founder of Communispond, the largest provider of executive presentation and communication skills in the country. So your business, Kevin, is to teach leaders how to speak to everybody else and speak effectively. What are the key things you're going to look for in a speech?
Well, the most important thing is that the message itself, Chuck, is simple and easy to understand. Not complicated, not fulsome, so to speak. Simple.
How many big ideas can you have in one speech?
Ideally 3. They begin to compete with one another if there are more than 3. 4, 5 ideas, boom, they get lost. People can't hang on to them. And he's pretty good. He does simplify. It's not perfect, tough subject.
And from a personal standpoint, what are you trying to sell about yourself when you make a good speech? What do you want the person watching you, listening to you, to come away thinking about you?
Well, Chuck, sincere. They have to feel that the person has credibility. Ideally, the person should be inspirational and obviously knowledgeable about the subject. So those characteristics are very important and very simplistic. Sometimes we forget them. But the listener has to buy the human being.
I know. I had a guy when I was first starting this business tell me that sincerity was the key to being a good television news broadcaster. When you learn to fake that, you had it made. Let's take a look at the president's speech right now, and I want you to grade him as we're going along. You have a clip here now from the beginning of the speech. Just tell me, looking at him right now, how's his demeanor? How's he doing?
Well, you see, he's looking from one side to the other. Hands aren't moving much. They're down below. He's really not warmed up, so to speak. He doesn't talk to the middle. Ronald Reagan did that beautifully.
He's using a teleprompter. He's got the 2 screens on both sides. He's going back and forth.
2 outriggers from one to the other. Doesn't stop in the middle. He could stop in the middle, even though there's no teleprompter there.
And then as we go along here, the second clip is going to be from the end of the speech, and you say that you discerned a difference when you watched him today between the beginning of the speech and the end. Here's the clip from the end.
Yes.
What's the difference?
Well, you can see now a little bit of passion from him. You can see belief. You can see conviction. And that's what the viewer looks for. If the speaker doesn't buy it, they don't buy it.
Why? Because his gesticulation is stronger? He's using more hand gestures?
Well, he is doing that. He's also got more emphasis. There's a little bit of suave to what he's doing here, a little bit of commitment. And we like that. We like that in the speaker.
You know, he has been, obviously, everybody who looks at him says, no matter whether they like him or dislike his policies, say he is a very effective salesman. But he does use the teleprompter a lot. He uses it in news conferences to give his opening statements. He uses it when he introduces a new member of the cabinet. And like most other presidents, for every speech. But is he using the prompter too much?
Chuck, I would say he is. Here's what the viewer looks at, whether the person is using a teleprompter, which sometimes they don't know, or it's just a speech. The first thing subconsciously every listener wants to know is he reading it, or is it coming from his own mind? If he's reading it, it's day-old bread. He goes way down in the credibility, on the credibility measure.
All right.
And that's what you got to watch out for.
Lastly, you say the most important thing in the speech is wow factor. What's that?
Well, wow factor just means that the audience is lifted. Any CEO who talks to an audience has to leave the audience feeling higher up than they did before.
Even if he has bad news to deliver?
Even bad news. Bad news has to fit within a context, and the context is always a better tomorrow, or it's not an effective speech.
All right. Kevin Daly, thanks for coming in to share your thoughts with us. Your analysis, we appreciate it.
Thank you.